This is another segment in my harvest series videos. Today I'm going to pull my turnips up and see what I got here. I apologize if you have trouble hearing me because it's raining again. I planted my turnips here in a raised bed box, and if it wasn't for these raised beds, I wouldn't have a thing out here. As you can see, I'm flooded again. I planted these turnips in an area that's 4 foot by 5 foot square. So I'm going to pull them up and cut the tops off. The tops have been decimated by the bugs that we have here. And then I'm going to weigh them and let you know what I got. So I'm going to swim on over there and pull some turnips. These were called the purple top globe turnips. You know what I need? Some mulch to hold in some moisture around here. If this isn't living proof that we all have different things to deal with, I don't know what to tell you. I want to point out that I have had way too much rain this year, just way too much. I've had enough. And this garden has flooded like this, I think 7 or 8 times. And each time, I thought for sure that that was going to be the end of the plants. They just wouldn't be able to take another drop. But they always have bounced back and come through. But it's bound to have affected my harvest. So what I'm getting out of this garden is not under optimal conditions. So keep that in mind. It's bound to have affected my harvest. So here they are. I got 13.5 pounds of turnips. I used to grow these for my grandmother because she liked them, and I have a feeling that she acquired a taste for these things during the Depression. I think that turnips have gotten a lot of desperate people through a lot of desperate times because you can eat every part of this plant. You can eat the greens and the roots. And it's been so long since I grew these for her, I really didn't remember just how much space they took up or how much you got from them. But as you can see, you can get a lot of food from a very little space with turnips. And I didn't grow these as well as I should have. When I first planted them, my chickens got into the bed and they scratched it all up and made a big mess of it. And then I never did get around to thinning them out, and they should be thinned to 3 to 4 inches apart. They should be harvested when they're about 2 to 3 inches in diameter. If you pull them when they're small, they're hot. They're kind of a cross between a radish and a cabbage. And they're hot when they're small, and then as they get bigger, then they lose some of the heat, and if they're hit by a frost, they'll take on some sweetness. I've read that they don't can well, but I wanted to can some just to see how bad they turn out, because I don't like turnips, I'll be honest with you. So I canned some up, and the flavor seems to intensify, and they ended up a bit on the soft side, but they are edible. I could throw them in with a pot of collard greens and eat them just fine that way, I believe. Turnips are a cool weather crop, and I believe one of the advantages of them is that they could stay out in the garden a long time and you could just use them as you needed them. They don't store well. They can be stored in a root cellar, but they don't store well. They don't can well, but they could be left out in the garden for a long time. My grandmother would plant turnips thickly, and then when they were several inches tall, she would pull them and cook the greens along with mustard greens. She called these salad greens. So here's a good food to grow if you're very limited on space and you're desperate, because believe me, they don't taste all that good. Hope it helps.